Hello. Today I'm gonna do an oil change on the KX450. It's a 2024, Kawasaki 450. Using the Kawasaki's oil change kit. It is that one specifically, but 1 quart of oil, oil filter, O-ring, crush washer. You'll need a 12mm socket for the drain bolt and an 8mm socket for the oil drain filler cap. Obviously a socket wrench and whatnot. Would highly recommend a torque wrench. Normally I just use the old calibrated elbow, but the drain bolts on these Kawasaki's, if you over torque them, the bolt head will shear off, leaving you with having to drill out the stud out of the bottom of the engine case. So use a torque wrench. I believe the torque spec, it's like 7 foot-pounds or something, so it's not a whole lot of force. But anywho, yeah. The drain bolt, let me see if you guys can see that. So it's right here. Well, that's draining. This is the filler cap right there. I did warm the bike up a little bit beforehand, just so the oil can fill up some of the, or grab some of the contaminants and whatnot. I do personally change the oil every 5 hours. Not 100% sure what the actual owner's manual is, but 5 hours seems to be reasonable to me. So yeah, anywho, wait until that gets, well, I guess while that's draining, we can do the oil filter. Grab a little stool there and figure out how I'm gonna get you guys a view. So those 2 bolts right here. Put some rags down there to catch some of this. And I want to say the longer bolt is the top bolt and shorter one is the bottom bolt. One thing to look for is this spring will have a tendency to shoot out, so keep that in mind. Let's see, you might also need a pick to get the old oil ring off out of the cover, or yeah, oil O-ring out of the cover. We will new O-ring in there, and you might need to use the pick as well to get the actual oil filter out. It's not also a bad idea to kind of look at the oil filter, make sure there's no metal shavings or anything, which this one looks good. So this oil was definitely relatively clean, so we probably didn't need to change it. Hi, pups. Hi. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, definitely didn't need to change it, but better to be safe than sorry. And the rubber gasket side goes in, pops in, lubricate the O-ring a little bit. And I don't think the cover necessarily matters, but you do need to make sure you put the spring back on there. Yeah, motherfucker. So, yeah, that spring can make it a tad difficult to make sure you get that seated in there properly. I don't know what the actual torque spec on this is, but I just use the calibrated elbow method. That's good. That seems good. And you guys out of the way. Again, just want to reiterate that using the torque wrench, highly recommended. If you decide to not use the Kawasaki oil, it is just 10W40, so I like the oil change kit because it comes with the oil filter and the crush washer and the oil and the O-ring, and it's all in one package. It also comes with 2 gloves, but only pansies wear gloves. And it comes with a little paper funnel, but we don't use that. I'm sure this also has a torque value, but enough is enough. So yeah, the window is right there. It's leaned over on the side, so if I straighten the bike up a little bit, it kind of fills with oil. And then if you lean it back over to the side, you can see it kind of, the oil level drops a bit. The next thing, since we did the oil filter, is I just hold the kill switch and the starter at the same time to let it prime the oil filter. So I'm going to run it up and down here a little bit and make sure it's not leaking, and that's about it. Not sure how shitty the audio is going to be with the bike running, but under there looks good. Yeah, so that is an oil change on a KX450. Peace.